artists versus social media. It feels like this is a never-ending and constant debate that goes on, and there's always a dilemma in the back of the minds of every artist I know about whether they even need social media to grow. There are so many questions surrounding this topic, like how do you balance time between your art and content creation? Is it even possible to grow on social media anymore? And is it possible that posting on a platform like Instagram is actually harming your art practice? So today, let's dive into all of that. As we chat about this, I'm going to be painting this beautiful Mandarin duck. This is a process video that I shot a few months ago, and I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to post it, so here we are. There's no doubt that Instagram and other social media platforms have been a real game changer for artists. It's given us a platform to express ourselves, it's given us a platform to share our work and to connect with other like-minded people. It's been an opportunity to build a community around what we do, and that's definitely a blessing. But at the same time, these platforms can also be a source of stress and worry. With the algorithms constantly changing, it feels like we're playing a game where the rules just keep changing, and often it just leaves us with a feeling of anxiety. While some artists seem to really thrive on these platforms, for others, it feels like no matter what you do, it's impossible to even get ahead. All of that being said, I have always placed emphasis on some form of content creation for my art business. I feel like it's really important for us to be able to build an audience around what we do, and we definitely do need some platform to be able to do that. It's very hard for us to just sit in our studios, create our work, not share it anywhere online, and still be able to grow. Now, I'm not saying that has to be Instagram for you. It could be any other platform as well. But you do need to think about where your audience is hanging out and how you can put your art in front of them. When it comes to Instagram, here's a piece of advice I have for you. Try not to create posts just to follow a trend or to please the algorithm. That's not going to get you anywhere in the long run. In fact, I feel like that could be something that is hurting your art practice. This is what I mean by that. Think about how your art can work on the platform. Think about what content formats you enjoy creating. Don't think of it the other way around, and don't try to create art that pleases the algorithm. While working on it this way may slow down your growth, compromising your authenticity, according to me, is a much larger price to pay. This is a constant battle even for me, so I know exactly how difficult it is. But like I said, you do need to think about your audience and how you're going to get people to discover your work. You're creating work that needs to be out there in the world. Your work is beautiful and you want people to be able to enjoy it. The only way to do that is to put yourself out there in some way. For me, YouTube has actually been a great platform for me to connect with an audience and share my authentic voice in a way that's meaningful to me. I've been able to build a community here and surround myself with people who really care about what I have to say. I still do consistently post on Instagram as well. I post about 3 to 5 times on the platform, and you don't need to post that many times. You can choose a frequency that works for you. But I think of Instagram more as a portfolio platform for myself. I make sure I share posts that I'm really proud of, and I don't try to create posts that are necessarily trending. Over time, I've also learned not to care about the numbers on Instagram. I know that if I chase trends, I can grow a lot faster, but that's just not a format of content creation that works for me. It's not something that excites me, and it's just not something I want to be doing for my own art practice. There was a time when I tried creating more of these process videos, top-down shots of me painting something, but I personally found that process to be really stressful. Now, that's not to say that every artist is going to find that stressful. Maybe for you, that's a format that really works. Maybe it's something you really enjoy creating. But that was just my experience, and I found that I didn't enjoy creating that kind of content. So I stopped doing it. On YouTube, on the other hand, I'll be honest and tell you that I often look at my analytics. I do care about the growth of my YouTube channel. I do look at which videos are performing well, and while I try not to get too stressed about it, it's something that I do place an emphasis on. I don't do that with Instagram at all. On Instagram, over time, I've really simplified my content creation process. I have a few different content buckets, and most of my content on that platform tends to fall into one of those buckets. So, firstly, I have my sales focused content. That would be marketing any of my new offers. For example, I just launched a print collection. So I shared a lot of behind the scenes of creating my prints, and then I shared the final artwork and print designs so that people who were interested could go and purchase it. Then I have some educational content. Right now, I just convert every single YouTube video into about 3 reels. I create snippets from my videos and I repurpose them as reels for my Instagram page. Earlier, I used to try to spend a lot more time creating educational content for Instagram, but I just found that it didn't perform very well for me, at least, and I just found that the payoff wasn't worth all of the effort that I was putting into it. So that's another measure I would give you. Think about whether the amount of effort that you're putting into creating any piece of content is worth the results that you're getting. Then I have my portfolio posts, and these are the posts that I really enjoy creating. This is where I showcase my art itself, and right now I've started creating surface pattern designs as well. So I love creating Instagram posts out of my completed patterns and sharing them on my page. I feel like this is a great way for me to build up a beautiful page that I'm really proud of, and potential collaborators or brands could look at my profile, and if it's something that interests them, they could reach out to me. Not only do I show the completed patterns, but I also like to show parts of the process. Sometimes I have these sheets where I'm working on different motifs, and I like to just post those once I complete the sheet or even mid-process. This sheet right here, which you see on the wall behind me, is a sheet full of bird motifs that I created. So that's something that I love sharing as well. And finally, I have a more rare category, which is community focused, where I might just show some behind the scenes from my studio or some aesthetic shots. So those are all the content buckets that I use for my Instagram posting. And when it comes to connecting with my audience more deeply, I like to use email marketing. I find it to be a really powerful tool that's more personal and more direct. But keep in mind that even to build an email list, you need to be building an audience elsewhere through which you can direct people to your list. For that, I use Instagram and I use my YouTube channel. Speaking of which, I write a really heartfelt newsletter to my subscribers every Friday, and if you'd like to sign up, the link is in my description. I share a lot of insights from my studio and a lot of content that I don't share anywhere else. So aside from my major content buckets and the kind of content I actually enjoy creating, I don't force myself to create anything else. If I ever come across a trend or a reel that I think might apply to me, or something that seems exciting and fun to me, and I just want to try creating it, then I might do that. But I never force this and I never pressurize myself to do that. Finding a posting schedule that works for you is really important. Consistency is key on any marketing platform. Just as important as it is to post content that you enjoy creating, I would say that it's also important to be consistent. When we talk about marketing, we need to think about the whole picture. Who is your audience? Who are you trying to attract to your business? And how are you attracting and building this audience? In the beginning, I did make the mistake of thinking that if I just made good art, people would come. But there's more to it. Being consistent, being strategic, and putting in the work to market yourself is really crucial if you want to build an art business. However, at the end of the day, it's really important to find a balance that works for you. This is your journey, so I would suggest that you do it your way. Some artists enjoy creating tutorials, some artists enjoy creating vlog style videos, some people like doing long form videos, some people like doing process videos, some people just like sharing beautiful pictures of their studio, and some people maybe like writing long captions where they take people behind the process. They like explaining things to their audience. All of these are completely fine as long as you figure out what works for you, what you enjoy, and what you're not going to get sick of doing. You don't need to follow anybody else's strategy, and I would highly recommend that you don't do that. I have tried taking so many different other creators' strategies and making them my own, but each and every time I have failed. The only time I have succeeded at being consistent is over the last few months, when I've really found a content style that works for me, and I've found a few types of content that I actually enjoy creating. Social media is just one of the many tools that you can use as an artist to share your work with the world and to build a community. I can guarantee that there is an audience out there who wants to connect with your authentic self. So don't let the numbers scare you, and don't let the algorithm dictate what your path is going to be. Instagram really doesn't have to be harmful for your art if you don't allow it to be. Aside from all of these things that I discussed with you, I've also found Pinterest to be a great platform to market myself as an artist. I have a whole strategy that I use to post on Pinterest, and if you're interested in learning all about that as a complete beginner to the platform, then I'd suggest checking out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.